Five, four, three, two, one. We have ignition. Strap in. You're about to listen to the hottest sounds.
Dream Catcher Radio.
Good afternoon and welcome to Dreamcatcher Radio. This is Open Window with Bradders. My days, have we got some news going on? We've always got news going on. It's a constant, just doesn't stop delivering. And we don't know what goes on around the world. Today, we're going to talk about the 13th of September event. However, before we get to that, I want to talk that was the event in London run by Tommy Robinson or Stephen Laxley Lennon. And we'll talk about that in a bit, actually, because that wasn't an event as it was described to be. It was totally different. And I'll explain the reason why. But I want to go on to, firstly, Peter Mandelson. Our government set themselves up to fail. I still don't understand, how Diane Abbott and David Lammy are in office. I don't get it. They're completely incompetent. They literally. I'm guessing they're there because of their race. That's the only thing I can think about. I can't see how they're in office. It makes zero sense to me, and it's like a job for the boys. Before he got elected to deputy prime minister, I posted on my TikTok account. I said, hopefully, they'll get rid of David Lammy next, and he gets promoted. Like I said, it's like a monopoly board. It's a joke. It's embarrassing. You look at even Keir Starmer. Basically, you look at the videos about his history of him saying if Donald Trump gets elected, it'd be game over kind of thing. And then he suddenly does a U-turn and finds out he gets elected and starts saying, "Oh, congratulations on being elected," and that sort of stuff. How do they forgive for their comments? I don't get it. These people in Parliament every Wednesday, they hate on each other like anything. Absolutely hate on each other. Yet behind closed doors, they're best mates. It's all theatre. Oh, it's politics and that sort of stuff. I remember when Tony Blair resigned, and he smiled, and he used the word skullduggery. I've used that word many, many times since, because I never knew what that meant, actually, at the time when I was younger. And so I looked into the words. I love words. I really do. Unfortunately, I failed myself many times on using the correct words. I normally go for different types of common language words. But, where he said in his closing speech, he thanked Parliament for the skullduggery that goes on. They're backstabbers. They're disgusting. They're out for themselves. I mean, there's obviously with the 13th of March event, Elon Musk was saying that he believes the people that are coming in on boats and all this illegal immigrants are coming in the country to basically give tickets to politicians. Now, I think that's a very narrow view, to be honest. Because you can't be that desperate. So I don't see it as that. I can't see how that was a viable proposition to make. But anyway, I'm going to play the first song and we'll go from there. But good afternoon and welcome to the Open Window with Bradders.
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 the silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. Move mountains, and I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. All we need is hope, and for that we have each other, and for that we have each other. And we will rise, we will rise, we will rise. Oh, we'll rise. I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I will rise 1,000 times again, and we'll rise up. I like the waves. We'll rise up in spite of the ache. We'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again.
Thank you for taking me out.
What a lovely song. Do you know what? Peter Mandelson, I'm going to play these clips in a minute, yeah, where he basically overtly lied about his relationship with Epstein. He's got the moral compass of Trigger's broom from Only Fools and Horses. I love Only Fools and Horses, by the way. Let's play some of these clips. Absolute joke. Absolute joke. It's disgusting.
Very much that I fell for his lies. I fell and accepted assurances that he had given me about his indictment, his original criminal case in Florida. Like very many people, I took at face value what he said. With hindsight, with fresh information, many years later, we realized that we had been wrong to believe him. He's a charismatic criminal liar, we now see. And I regret very much indeed. I felt it like an albatross around my neck since his death in 2018 or 19, when it was. I feel a tremendous sense of regret, not only that I met him in the first place, but that I continued the association, and I took at face value the lies that he fed me and many others.
And timings of Peter Mandelson's dealings with Jeffrey Epstein. So will the Prime Minister publish all these documents, including those about his interests?
Well, Mr. Speaker, as I say, full due process was gone through in relation to his appointment, as would be expected. As for the publication of documents, as she well knows, that's subject to a procedure which includes an independent element. She's finally catching up with the questions that she should have asked last week about the Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, we have been opened up a new schools-based nursery. On Monday, we have the Defence Industrial Strategy. On Tuesday,
A load of waffle and whatabouting, Mr. Speaker. All they are interested interested right now is their pointless deputy leadership election while the country is out there suffering from an economic crisis. The Prime Minister has an ambassador mired in scandal, not focusing on NATO. He lost his deputy Prime Minister just last week for evading taxes. He's got a new Home Secretary, a new Foreign Secretary, just learning the ropes, not able to help with this issue. We have strikes crippling.
Of the opposition said, Lord Mandelson has admitted to continuing his relationship long after Epstein was convicted, and that there are more embarrassing details we don't yet know. Mr. Speaker, people will be surprised by the Prime Minister giving Ambassador Mandelson such strong support today. So can he tell the House, has the Prime Minister asked the Ambassador what other compromising material the Trump administration might have on him as he leads Britain's negotiations with the White House?
Well, Mr. Speaker, as I...
So that was an outright lie. That's an outright lie. He was already a convicted paedophile. Convicted paedophile. An outright lie. And even MI5 basically told government that Peter Mandelson should not have a position in office. I mean, if you get sacked from a company for whatever reason, they don't invite you back and invite you into their company again. I can't imagine that ever happening. Yet 3 times, this despicable man, because he's a good networker, and because he just fills a box or a slot in the system, he gets a massive place in Washington, D.C., which is very opulent. It's so nice, to be honest. I was very jealous, to be perfectly frank. But that's not the point. They appoint him into this position of office, which has some powers of sorts. I don't know what. But I think it's all a job for the boys. I really do believe it's a job for the boys. All the girls, all the young children. I'm sorry for that, by the way. But anyway, it makes me sick. It makes me sick. Anyway, here's another clip.
Remember this clown? It's Peter Kyle, the Labour minister, who said that Nigel Farage, because he was against authoritarian censorship on the internet, was on the side of Jimmy Savile. Well, this weekend he was wheeled out on the telly by Keir Starmer to defend his protection and appointment of a man who was literally on the side of the most famous paedophile in the world. Of all the people Keir Starmer could have appointed ambassador to America, he chose a man who was best pals with Epstein. In fact, after Epstein's conviction, he received gushing emails from Mandelson. So why did Starmer appoint Mandelson to such a big job? Why appoint a man whose nickname is literally the Prince of Darkness? Why did Starmer override the advice of MI6, who warned him Mandelson did not pass vetting? Why did he defend and stand by Mandelson when it was obvious to everyone that his time was up? This comes just after his deputy prime minister had to resign in disgrace. Like Angela Rayner, Mandelson had to go, but now it's time for Starmer to go. He's made British people second-class citizens in their own country. He's left our borders open, and the boats full of illegal migrants are coming faster than ever. He's so weak that despite a walloping majority, he couldn't even pass a bill to cut welfare spending by 1%. And he's raising taxes on you to pay for all this. Even Labour MPs are saying he's not up to the job. It's time for Keir Starmer to resign.
So he is lied. He's lied. And Mandelson is a stubborn man, a very stubborn man. He uses his sexuality as an excuse sometimes. He has done in the past as well. But the point being, why was he ever appointed in the first place? And why was it hidden? Why is it masked? And if you've got all these advisors saying don't appoint him, why appoint him? What the heck is going on? I mean, there's rumours going around, which you've probably seen on the web, that Keir Starmer is bisexual and is actually divorced or separated from his partner. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. I'm not saying it, I'm not declaring it, but there's lots of it going on. There's so many conspiracy theories going on the web at the moment. It's just unreal. And with AI and all that sort of stuff, it's hard to keep up with all this sort of stuff. But in all honesty, I think Keir Starmer is punching well above his weight in this job, and many of his cabinet are as well. Now, I'm not qualified in any of what they do, but I just see it from the stuff that they say, and these are their words that you rely on. I mean, he talks about immigration. Funny enough, this show was about talking about September the 13th, but anyway, I'm on one now. Yet he defended so many people trying to get deported by the government of the day, and it's good to have a system which defends people, but you can actually, in terms of immigration, you can defend the indefensible. It's not even funny. It really is not even funny, and it's not I kind of I'm the one about his planes taking off, one in, one out, and that sort of thing, which makes zero sense on its face anyway. 0 cents. And I can't even understand how they even declared that policy. It's embarrassing. It makes 0 sense. And then they can't even get any planes off the ground with sending people back. Now, the thing that makes me sad about this as well, right? There's bound to be good people on those boats. Bound to be. But they get entry into UK for free. If you do the legal route, it costs you thousands of pounds. And, that's an unfair system. It's an unfair system. We do need positive immigration. But, the government, I think I can date back to since the Iraq War and Libyan War. I think it's been a joke. It's been a complete circus. And I think we've been Americanized. It's ironic considering the British kind of created most of America and their laws and their systems. Yet America have advanced, not in society. They've got so many structural problems, but in military and in politics, they've advanced a lot. Just like Israel has. It's sad, but it's true.
I'm trying, but I keep falling down. I cry out, but nothing comes now. I'm giving my all, and I know peace will come. I never wanted to need someone. Yeah, I wanted to play tough, thought I could do all this on my own. But even Superwoman sometimes needed Superman's soul. Help me out of this hell. Your love lifts me up like helium. Your love lifts me up when I'm down, down, down. When I've hit the ground, you're all I need. And if you let go, I'll float towards the sun. I'm stronger, 'cause you fill me up. But when the fear comes, then I drift towards the ground. I am lucky that you're around. Yeah, I wanted to play tough, thought I could do all this on my own. But even Superwoman sometimes needed Superman's soul. Help me out of this hell. Your love lifts
So, like, Mandelson is a proper wrong'un. And the thing that frustrates me the most, it's a big boys' club and perhaps girls' club as well, to a lesser extent. The and I don't get why they don't bring fresh people in. I know so many councillors, which are great people, who will look after the people before politics, party politics, and not listen to interlopers that want to share their agenda to make more money on the back of the government of the day. It's what they do. It's what they do. I mean, I read an article yesterday that Larry Fink is going to be attending the event in London with Donald Trump from BlackRock. Like, what's all that about? What's he doing there? It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. It doesn't even, you couldn't even say it's logic. But what it is a networking opportunity to sell more goods and services that you probably don't want as a country, but actually they make you believe you need them. It's like lobbyists. It's a massive business developed in the US and migrated to the UK and other countries. And it is shocking, absolutely shocking. You look at Tony Blair, who's in the US recently. I used to like Tony Blair until the Iraq and Libyan war, and I thought this is not right. And then his relief was, I'm going to turn to God. God started talking to me and that sort of stuff. I mean, God's never talked to me. I don't know why. He's got my email address. And I just find it outrageous. He's made millions. I'm guessing that's from delivery from God as well. By being in government office, made millions. And he would say he probably worked hard for that. No, it's not true. It's not true. To be a public speaker and that sort of stuff, you shouldn't charge that sort of money. You should be doing it for free because you get a government salary as well. I mean, at least Donald Trump donates his entire salary to charity, which is commendable. But he's made a lot of money in office, a lot of money in office, a lot of money already whilst in office. And, I think the world is coming to kaput in terms of it, just unrealistic expectations where you can just, as a government, talk about spying and all that sort of stuff. Everybody spies on one another. They do. We get spied upon as a citizen, which government will deny, but then they're supposed to be working for the people. Sorry, excuse me. It astonishes me that we're acquiescent to the fact that it's nothing you can do about it, and I can't think of what I could do about it. I can do nothing apart from having a freedom of speech radio station, which is Dreamcatcher Radio, and talk about these sort of issues. But as citizens, you can't do anything because the government will do what they want to do. The judges will do government policy work. It's proven in the Lucy Connolly case. There's no way any reasonable judge would have sentenced her to prison. No way. And I'd still love to see the pre-sentence report. I doubt it'll ever be released, but she shouldn't have been sent to prison. No way. Not a hope in hell. Yet you've got paedophiles, rapists, get shorter sentences than her. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. But that's the society we live in as of today on the 17th of October 2025. And it scares me. It really does scare me. It keeps me awake at night thinking, well, what can I say, what I can't say? What can I do, what cannot do? I mean, obviously, it's obvious is to not commit a crime. But you could say something wrong to somebody. I mean, a guy got arrested for calling someone a muppet. I mean, how insane is that? I mean, would the I mean, the police officers themselves must have used language, more perverse than that themselves in their life. And they were willing to arrest someone, and they did arrest him for calling someone a muppet, and that person was offended. I mean, are you having a laugh? I even Googled the definition of muppet, and it's like idiot. So he's calling the guy an idiot. So you can get arrested for calling someone an idiot. It's outrageous. Freedom of speech is so important. It's so fundamental to society and how society develops. And people don't realise it. And it's been eroded on a massive scale. And I'm going to go on to talk about this freedom of speech festival. It's got so many different descriptions, and none of them are right. But either way, there's some good and positive, negative things from that event. But Peter Mandelson, man, what a joke! Get rid of Diane Abbott, get rid of David Lammy, but they can't because they're in office and they're black, and that shouldn't be a reason to keep them in office. I mean, I saw Diane Abbott couldn't even get out of a gate. A member of the public helped her open a gate. That's how stupid she is. She couldn't open a gate. You could see her walking left and right, and it's like a comedy sketch. And a member of the public just randomly walked up and literally just pulled the handle, opened the gate. And the thing is, as well, when you go back to, I'm going to try and find this actually, Nick Ferrari's clip on LBC where she talks about policing. I'm going to find that clip and play that next, because again, it's another example. What a joke she is! What a joke. Black or not, doesn't matter. She's in high office. We need good people in high office. Absolutely disgusts me.
From Diane Abbott. Good morning.
Well, the money will come from reversing some of the tax cuts to the rich that the Tories have pushed through. And the tax cut we're specifically identifying to pay for the 10,000 policemen is the cuts in capital gains tax.
Policemen. So we can't have we can't have police women then?
Policemen and women.
Oh, that's all right. Just checking.
Yeah, right. So the
Strange it falls to me to correct you, Diane, but do go on.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the real issues about crime, which people are worried about.
Mm-hmm.
And what people are worried about is the rise in violent crime. We've seen in the Met, for instance, gun crime go up by 42% and knife crime go up by 24%. And we believe that more community policemen and women are part of the answer to this.
So how much would 10,000 police officers cost?
Well, if we recruit the 10,000 police men and women over a 4-year period, we believe it'll be about £300,000.
£300,000 for
Sorry,
10,000 police officers. What are you paying them?
No, I mean, sorry.
How much will they cost?
They will cost. It will cost about £80 million.
About £80 million?
Yeah.
Right. How do you get to that figure?
We get to that figure because we anticipate recruiting 25,000 extra police officers a year at least over a period of 4 years. And we're looking at both what average police wages are generally, but also specifically police wages in London.
And this will be funded by the reversing, in some instances, I think, the cuts to capital gains tax. But I'm right in saying that since Jeremy Corbyn became leader of the party, that money has also been promised to reverse spending cuts in education, spending cuts in arts, spending cuts in sports. The Conservatives would say you spent this money already, Diane Abbott.
Well, the Conservatives would say that. We've not promised the money to any area. We've just pointed out that the cuts in capital gains tax will cost the taxpayer over £2 billion, and there are better ways of spending that money. But as we roll out our manifesto process, we are specifically saying how we will fund specific proposals. And this morning I'm saying to you that we will fund the 10,000 extra police officers by using some, not all, but just some of the over £2 billion.
The 80 million is the figure we use.
Yeah.
But if you, I don't understand. If you divide 80 million by 10,000, you get 8,000.
What we're
Is that what you're going to pay these policemen and women?
No, we're talking about a process over 4 years.
I don't understand. What is he or she getting? 80 million divided by 10,000 equals 8,000. So what are these police officers going to be paid?
We will be paying them the average...
Has this been thought through?
Of course it's been thought through.
Where are the figures?
The figures are that the additional cost in year one, when we anticipate recruiting about 250,000 policemen, will be 64.3 million.
250,000 policemen?
And women.
So you're getting more than 10,000. You're recruiting 250,000.
No, we are recruiting 2,000 and perhaps 250. And the cost...
So where did 250,000 come from?
I think you said that, not
me.
No,
I can assure you said that figure because I wrote it down.
What I'm saying about the costs is in year one, obviously, we're getting ready to recruit.
Right.
But in year two, the cost will be 64.3 million. In year three, the cost will be 139.1 million. Right. Year four, the cost will be 217 million. And year five, the cost will be 298 million. And that can be amply covered by reversing the cuts in capital gains tax.
And lastly, you will, I'm sure, be very close to police officers, as I am sometimes, and there are concerns within cities such as London that the dilution of stop and search by the Prime Minister, when she was Home Secretary, Theresa May, has in some way perhaps contributed to a 24% increase in knife crime in London. Where do you stand on stop and search, Diane Abbott?
I support evidence-based stop and search, but we know in the past only a tiny fraction of stop and search revealed actual crime, mostly people carrying drugs for personal use. And the reason for the rise in knife crime are very complex. They're to do with young people sadly thinking they need it for self-defence and so on. But we believe that a rise in community policing and community policemen and women engaging in outreach with the community is part of the solution to the rise in knife crime and gun crime.
So would you authorise increased stop? Because there is a body of thought within policing, as I'm sure you're aware as Shadow Home Secretary, that actually we need more properly executed, carefully delivered, respectfully done stop and search. Where do you stand on that?
We need more evidence-based stop and
search.
But
you can't always have evidence, Diane. You know that as well as I do. Sometimes, I mean, they caught the Yorkshire Ripper through a bit of a lucky one, as you'll be aware. You don't always necessarily have that evidence, do you?
We believe in more evidence-based stop and search. And what we've found in London is that although levels of stop and search have gone down, levels of convictions related to stop and search has gone up.
Yeah, but knife crime has too, Diane Abbott.
Yes, but there are complicated reasons for knife crime. I'll come back on your programme and talk about the rise in knife crime on another occasion.
Sure.
But community policing has a big role to play in fighting knife crime and gun crime.
And lastly, the headline is 10,000 more police officers, which is very exciting, but does that necessarily mean that they'll be good? That is to say, if Ford were to employ 10,000 extra people in building their cars, it doesn't mean they make better cars, of course.
Well, you need to say that to the Police Federation. The Police Federation has said that austerity is calling real issues, police forces are struggling to cope, and of course we need more policemen. You need to say to the Police Federation
and
if you
police
think...
women, Diane. You've got a real problem with this, you know. You've got to get into the modern day, Diane. You keep saying policemen. We have police officers.
And you, Nick, need to talk seriously about crime.
I do. I talk about it every single day, I assure you, Shadow Home Secretary, and I've enjoyed talking to you. Thank you for your time.
So I'm not too sure if people are aware, but basically the government give round robins to Parliament officials and say, look, this is the narrative of the day. I mean, this numbnuts, right? Nick Ferrari didn't have to work hard to unpack Diane Abbott and what she's saying. I mean, I don't understand. I just don't understand. You know how they she's in office. I don't get it. I mean, £300,000 for 10,000 police officers. I mean, just try and that's our own verbiage. I mean, I think Nick was very polite to her, to be fair. I mean, Nick has developed a lot more. I mean, he reminds me a bit about Calvin Mackenzie as well. And where he's been a bit more pushy now, where he never used to be. He used to be on stage with Boris Johnson, that sort of thing, and he gave Boris Johnson so much relief, it wasn't even funny. But where she talks about in this interview, I mean, these are people making decisions or giving directions on your behalf. I actually believe most of Parliament, in all honesty, are just talking to the winds and they're as mouthpieces. I really do believe that. Because if you've got an idiot like this, a muppet like this, it's just a joke. It's a joke. 300,000 people are going to spend £300,000. There you go. Look, I'm an idiot as well. I'll accept it. I'll take it. But I'm not asking for your money. For 10,000, and then she says she changed it to 80 million, and then she changes the police officers. We're going to get 25,000 police officers at 80 million, and then Nick, the producer's probably calculated that works at £8,000 per police officer. and then this numbnuts goes on to say that we're going to get 250,000 police officers. I mean, how that can not go down in the history books is beyond me. It's beyond me. And Nick didn't even have to work hard to expose her for being a numbnuts and a muppet, which means idiot in the Oxford Dictionary. And it's okay. It's okay. Just carry on. Can't open a gate. Yeah, you can, held high office in government. You got David Lammy. I'm sorry to keep poking it. I mentioned that they're both black. Right? The only reason I mention it because I could be accused of being a racist, but I'm not a racist. I'm not by any stretch of imagination. Right? But the fact is, they're not suitable for their jobs, and that's something that Elon Musk said. In the event on the 13th, or perhaps Tommy Robinson is probably not qualified. Well, actually, anybody is qualified to say they're not suited for the job is obvious. Just to make sure the picture looks great, But the thing is, I think everybody's had enough of this sort of stuff. I mean, Labour, oh, jeez. I mean, I speak to Labour councillors, and they believe they're not going to be elected again, even though they've held seats for years. And because there's elections this year, is it this year or next year? I can't remember. I think it's next year. And they believe they're not going to be elected because of central government offices and what's going on there. Because it's chaos. I mean, you've got to think about it logically, right? If you got someone like Diane Abbott saying that and trying to work her way through numbers and figures and, and she's had a brief beforehand and she comes out with that, just off the bat, £300,000 for 10,000 police officers. You definitely are a muppet, for sure.
because I gotta have faith. I gotta have faith because I gotta have faith. I gotta have faith.
Dreamcatcher Radio. Dreamcatcher Radio is about capturing and creating dreams through music, chat, and debate. Empowering expression, enriching society. A go-to place for unsigned musical talent. A radio station which listens to its audience. Free speech, vibrant, engaging. Stream worldwide 24/7. Events, competitions, promotions. Always keen to have a listening ear. Contact us. hello@dreamcatcherradio.com.
Dreamcatcher Radio.
Okay, let's move on. We know our government needs a massive shake-up, but due to politics and all that sort of stuff, it ain't gonna happen in the foreseeable future. And we just gonna bite with it. The problem is they're screwing their own citizens massively, and the the cost of living now is increased to a massive extent. It really is, and it's shocking. I feel it myself, like really do feel it, and it's changed my lifestyle just for cost of living. Now, September the 13th event, hosted by Tommy Robinson. I haven't really got an opinion on him personally. I think he's a character. He's got a massive audience, akin to Andrew Tate, who has a massive audience by preying on the fact that emotive issues, and his event was described initially as a freedom of speech event. It certainly wasn't that. I believe in freedom of speech, and it's fundamental to our society, and it affects many facets in our society: employment, legal, courts, policing, friendships, relationships, everything. Freedom of speech is so important. But what that event turned out to be was something totally different. And I'm all for freedom of speech. That's what Dreamcatcher Radio was set up for. Part of our mission statement, which I wrote, and I strongly believe in freedom of speech. It's so important to have freedom of speech, because without freedom of speech, you lose so many liberties. And unfortunately, in the UK and probably elsewhere in the world, you're losing the right to free speech. And we know it in the UK. Just look at the Lucy Connolly case. That is horrific, absolutely horrific case. Should never, ever been brought before court. If it was brought before a judge, the judge should have struck it out and basically just said, air of caution kind of mentality. She shouldn't have had a suspended sentence, even, in my opinion. And it is my opinion. She was, you look at the circumstances where she come from and how she developed to make that post, and it's fully understandable, explainable. And then she deleted that post. To go to prison for that is beyond outrageous, like completely outrageous. It's shocking to me, and I believe the government got that wrong, and the government is supposed to be independent from the judiciary. Do not believe that myth. It's total myth. It's basically, if government policy says do that, judge, and they'll find the right judge to do it, a whipping boy, and the judge will do that and make it sound articulate, professional, and justifiable. there's nothing that can justify her being sent to prison. Nothing. Absolutely zero. And I hope she sues the government, which sadly affects the taxpayer. Uh, and I hope she wins her case. I really do. And let's go on to talk about a bit more very shortly about Tommy Robinson's event.
What is love? What is love? I think I know what love is. I think I know what love is. I think I know. I think. What is love? What is love?
How do you say delicious, lovely, delectable, divine? How do you say gorgeous, with it, groovy, fine? Ooh la 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 la. Só você que é uma solução muito bacana. J'aurais été mis au moins je vais te prendre les gants pour te faire chanter, te How do you say delicious? How do you say lovely? How do you say delectable, divine? How do you say groovy, with it? How do you say delight?
We've been trying to find out, is there really such a thing? Right?
So there was many different names for this event, and it was a fantastic turnout. It was amazing to see the turnout. It really was good, and it galvanized people in the UK, and and that's what is much needed. I 100% agree with that. To people to try and believe they have a voice, but it definitely wasn't about freedom of speech. There may have been an element of that, but it wasn't a large proportion of that. It was very, very clear to me. I didn't have the opportunity to listen to all of the event or watch all of the event, but I listened to probably I should say, about 2 or 3 hours, and it was great just to see the public there. And one thing I will say, in credit to Tommy Robinson, the government could never organise a festival, protest, celebration, whatever you want to call it, like that. Never ever. And you've done it as an individual, with your cohorts. So kudos there. And the type of people you got there were very, I would say, in my personal opinion, I mean, I hate the view of far right and far left and, that sort of thing. I don't really even get it, if I'm perfectly honest. Are you far right in the morning and then far left in the evening? And, can you not just have an opinion? That's the bit I don't get. I don't deem myself as far right or far left. I just like conversation and debate. And I believe that everybody should be entitled to an opinion. Now, at the event on the 13th of September in London, the thing that I don't like is the way the media have reported it as basically being far right activism, and there's very little arrests. I think there's 24, from memory. And then when you compare that to Notting Hill Carnival and other events, and the Palatine protest where the police arrested pensioners on wheelchairs and all that sort of stuff, there's like something like 800. I see. My personal belief is that people should have the right to petition their government, and it was allowed. Tommy says the government tried every which way possible to stop them from protesting. Now, we don't know the truth, and the police basically allowed it to happen, and that could possibly be the truth. But what I will say, what I found, some of the positions from the people on stage made me very disappointed, and it turned out to be a bit of a circus, in my opinion, and did not hold up to being a freedom of speech, protest, march, festival, rally, whatever you want to call it. And I think, to be honest, it probably left lots of the people that visited the event with questions about what do we do next.
Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Backbeat, the word is on the street that the fire in your heart is out. I'm sure you've heard it all before, but you never really had a doubt. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads we have to walk are winding, and all the lights that lead us there are blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. Because maybe Today was gonna be the day, but they'll never throw it back to you. By now, you should have somehow realized what you're not to do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads that lead you there were winding, and all the lights that light the way are blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. I said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my wonderwall. I said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my wonderwall. I said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. You're gonna be the one that saves me. You're gonna be the one that saves me.
Do you know one thing? Like, I was just thinking whilst Oasis was playing there, is that I can't believe that I could be defined as a racist. And your defense is automatically, well, I've got black friends, Chinese friends, Indian friends, Sikh friends, and how easy is it to be called a racist nowadays? And I find it so upsetting and frustrating where for you to have a comment, and this is going back to freedom of speech, by the way, and we're not going to be able to cover this in this show today, to be honest, because I've covered other topics, but I'm going to try and cover as much as I can about the 13th of September, how I think it wasn't a good event, and there were so many negative connotations there, and quite, I felt that it's was completely misguided, and I don't know who produced it, organised it. I know obviously Tommy Robinson's name was used, but it's in my opinion, it wasn't what it was on the cover, so to speak. Pardon the pun, but yeah, I'd hate to be called a racist, but the fact is, it's thrown around like confetti. It's a bit like being anti-Semite for saying the Jews are, sorry, Israel. I apologise. It's not the Jews. It's not the citizens that are doing it. Well, technically, it probably is actually not citizens, but the military are basically committing genocide. There's so many organisations have said that that they are committing genocide. I mean, with all the people talking about it, and all the camera evidence, and all the witness statements, come on, you can't deny that. But going back to being called a racist, and the event has been described as Tommy Robinson, convicted felon. Well, not felon, they don't use that in the UK, do they? Convicted criminal, is a racist, and he hosted a racist march, event, festival, protest. The thing that disappointed me was the fact that it lost the point that I thought it was about, was freedom of speech. Because freedom of speech can open up so many doors, and prevent so many of these wrongful convictions that are going on, and arrests that are going on. I must admit, what surprises me the most is basically police officers willing just to follow orders and not use their own intuition and say, actually, I'm not going to do that. Do you know the police officer that went viral, this video? And the guy was going to a protest. I can't remember. It wasn't too long ago. It was a few months back. And the police officer went to the door, and the guy was a bit of an activist and decided to record the police officer, which people do nowadays, which makes perfect sense. If I'm perfectly honest, you need to cover your ass. The police officer said, "Look, I'm really sorry. I've got to come here and deliver this message and warning about you attending the protest." And the police officer was so nice, and the guy said, I don't want it, don't want anything to do with it. And can you go back to your sergeant, and I'll write this message on there. And it basically was expletives to his police sergeant. And the guy laughed, the police officer laughed and said, okay, I'll take it back. He got suspended, that police officer. So the police have no freedom to think for themselves. Discretion, maybe, if they want, but he got suspended because he laughed and also basically apologized for the fact that he had to do this. And he didn't want to do it, but he had to do it. I mean, you could say that's Stockholm syndrome, but it's about keeping your paycheck as well. And that's the biggest control you have, isn't it, over the police force, is the paycheck. I mean, Phil in Westminster, he's been ambushed many times, who's a protester, from police. And some police will literally dodge it. They will dodge it to the best of their ability. And all that happens is the seniors will get some police officer there that will actually enforce their instructions. I mean, work that out. That makes no sense, does it? And that's the problem with society. You will always get someone to do something for you, to protect their own position, even though they know it's wrong. The other thing about Phil as well, right? He's a veteran, and we actually interviewed him on Dreamcatcher Radio. Steve Little did. He got arrested, got let out, and he's back there on Parliament Square. Bless him. He's such a legend. The other thing about Phil as well, right? He's a veteran, and we actually interviewed him on Dreamcatcher Radio. Steve Little did. He got arrested, got let out, and he's back there on Parliament Square. Bless him. He's such a legend. Now, I don't believe the government want to stop the boats coming across from France. I don't know why. Can't explain it. The government won't explain it. They make up stories. Here's an interview that I did with Patrick Christie, which is an impromptu interview that I did outside Buckingham Palace recently.
Believe it or not, I cannot believe I'm with Patrick, right? So we're in London doing tourist stuff. Steve, the station manager, had gone off somewhere down there. What are you here for, Patrick?
Oh, right. Well,
before you answer that,
yeah.
I'm a massive fan of this guy and what he's doing on GB News. Even though I've got my own radio station, this guy's amazing.
Oh, bless you. Well, thank you very much. That's
so, Patrick, what are you doing outside?
Yeah, well, Ed Davey, the Lib Dem leader, has decided that he is going to boycott President Trump's state banquet here, out of principle. He doesn't want to go. So I've just come to try to find American tourists to see if they can identify who he is. Right? But I actually am not sure that a lot of British people could identify who he is. So we'll find out, won't we? But just makes a bit of a mockery, really. I'm sure President Trump's devastated.
And listen, right, the other thing as well, I've been watching when you've been in France and stuff.
Yeah.
Can you say stuff about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's
actually, can I ask you a question, right? You gave all the evidence to the government.
Yeah.
Right? how did you deliver it, and what sort of?
Oh well, we sent them all the information about human traffickers that we've got and all the evidence that we had there to the National Crime Agency. We've sent it directly to Border Force and the Home Office directly as well. So we just compiled it as a dossier and emailed it over to them. We're in quite regular contact with them. They don't seem to have really done anything about it, as far as I can tell. We also handed it over to the French police as well over there, and well, it's hard for us to tell what they've done, but the boats haven't stopped coming, have they? So, yeah, I mean, it's quite eye-opening over there, really. I mean, the problem is absolutely vast, and it doesn't seem like any deal that Keir Starmer was willing to do with the French is going to make a blind bit of difference, unfortunately.
I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Right, I know you're going to do some recording. Do you actually believe the government want to stop the boats? What do you think? What is your personal belief?
Bearing in mind that the government is currently in court today to try to appeal the closure of a migrant hotel, and they have argued in that the rights of asylum seekers trump the rights of local residents. That's in Epping. I mean, that tells,
for the sake of the audience,
yeah,
that's the Bell Hotel.
That's the Bell Hotel.
Yeah.
That tells you a lot about the psychology of the government and what their priorities are. You also have to look at the track record politically and in terms of an activist sense of a lot of the people that are in the Labour Party, the Home Secretary and the Prime Minister. And you really do have to wonder whether or not they've never wanted to stop it before. So when they say they want to stop it now, I find that quite hard to believe. But I mean, if he wants to stay in power, he's going to have to stop it. But I think that ship has sailed anyway.
Yeah. And what do you think about reform, just out of interest, Patrick?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, the latest polls have got them absolutely surging ahead now, and that is, they are surging ahead as a result of the announcement on deportations that Nigel Farage made. I think it was 2 days ago now, was it? Which is a plan. People can agree with it or disagree with it, but it's definitely a plan. It's a comprehensive plan compared to anything else that we've got. And the British public, I think, have had enough, aren't they? I think people generally feel as though they're ready to try something new. You know, the Tory party cocked up massively. The Labour Party have been a bit of an ocean-going disaster. The Liberal Democrats, well, I mean, we don't even know who this guy is anymore, do we? The Greens
I didn't even know it.
Yeah, the Greens are a bit fruity. So, I mean, I suppose when you look at who else is left on the table there...
Just one final question, because I was just literally doing this tourist stuff.
Yeah.
In terms of freedom of speech, what do you think about freedom of speech? Because for me, the reason why I started the radio station, freedom of speech, what do you think about freedom of speech in the UK? I mean, we can even talk about Lucy Connolly as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely under threat in a way that it wasn't before, especially with police doing things like non-crime hate incidents and knocking on people's doors for tweets and Facebook posts and all of that stuff. So I think people generally feel a bit more on edge, and I think people feel that there's more to speak out on now. You know, we're better informed when it comes to controversial topics like the illegal migrant crisis, and I think people are worried that might mean that if they say what they really feel, they might get locked up for it. But I'm afraid I'm going to have to go now, mate, because I've got to do my own job.
Patrick, thank you.
Keep it locked right here.
Dreamcatcher Radio. I've been walking with my face turned to the sun, weight on my shoulders, a bullet in my gun. Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I do what I can when I can, while I can for my people. While the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones.
You have made it 100 miles to freedom. Would you like to pick a new name to mark your freedom?
Paradigm. Early in the morning, before the sun begins to shine, we're gonna start moving towards that separating line. I'm wading through muddy waters. You know I gotta make salvation. And I fight with the strength that I got until I die. So I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. And you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer. Gonna keep on keeping on.
Harriet, welcome to the Underground Railroad.
And I know what's around the bend might be hard to face 'cause I'm alone. And I just might fail, but Lord knows I'll try. Shine stars fit up the sky. Stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Do you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. I hear freedom calling, calling me to answer. Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones. I go to prepare a place for you. I go to prepare a place for you. I go to prepare a place for you. I go to prepare a place for you.
We want everyone now to fall silent as we pay respects for 1 minute for one of the bravest fighters, one of the most intelligent fighters, certainly is going to be seen in our lifetime. To Charlie's family, we all pray for you and we hope we honour his life. And you'll know when the minute's up because the bagpipes will play. Charlie, Charlie, Charlie.
And now listen to the police update on text messages between the roommate and the alleged assassin of Charlie Kirk. It's pretty messed up.
Police interviewed Robinson's roommate, a biological male who was involved in a romantic relationship with Robinson. The roommate told police that the roommate received messages from Robinson about the shooting, and he did provide those messages to police. On September 10th, 2025, the roommate received a text message from Robinson which said, "Drop what you're doing. Look under my keyboard." The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, quote, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it." Police found a photograph of this note. The following text exchange, then took place. After reading the note, the roommate responded, "What? You're joking, right?" Robinson, "I am still okay, my love, but am stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you." Roommate, "You weren't the one who did it, right?" Robinson, I am. I'm sorry." Roommate, "I thought they caught the person." Robinson, "No, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering." Roommate, "Why?" Robinson, "Why did I do it?" Roommate, "Yeah." Robinson, "I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it." Roommate, "How long have you been planning this?" Robinson, "A bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it." Robinson again, "I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. IDEK if it's had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints. How the F will I explain losing it to my old man? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The F in messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notice bulge UWU on Fox News, I might have a stroke all right. I'm going to have to leave it. That really effing sucks. Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine, IDK. I think that was a $2K scope. Robinson again, delete this exchange. Again, Robinson, my dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the rifle, and it is very unique. He's calling me, RN, not answering. Robinson, since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA. Robinson, I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. Again, you are all I worry about, love. That came from Robinson. Roommate, I'm much more worried about you. Robinson, don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent.
Now, history doesn't lie, and Tommy Robinson was anti-Islam, without a doubt. And I get it. It's basically, he's very learned on the Quran, far more than me. In fact, I'd have to confess that I've never even read it. It doesn't interest me. Religion doesn't interest me, per se, but what does interest me is religious beliefs. And I think his recent event on the 13th was a ruse to use freedom of speech as an avenue to get his beliefs back in, where he's saying send them back. And I'm going to play you a video from a Polish minister. He's quite well known. He's in the EU Parliament as well. And where he expresses send them back. Without positive immigration, we as a country would not have developed to the extent we have. And I do not believe in the philosophy whatsoever that positive migration is a bad thing. I believe that I've met so many great people in my lifetime, even over the shop counter, at the doctor's, at the hospital. Even my partner is from Czech Republic, and I know so many people from different cultures and countries. And to use this carte blanche sort of rhetoric and use it under the guise of freedom of speech is a joke. I believe strongly in freedom of speech, and I believe strongly that freedom of speech is being eroded. Now listen to this guy. I think his name's Dominic.
Your voices, lions! Raise your voices! How are you? How do you feel? Do you feel united? Do you feel strong? Do you feel that we can make it? So send them back! What? Send them back! Send them back! Send them back! Send them back! Let them hear you at the Westminster! Send them back! Let them hear you in the Westminster, and let them hear you around the world. Over 2 million people watching us now live on Tommy's X. Let's say thank you to Elon for freeing the bird. Thank you, Elon. Come on, Elon! 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 It's over 2 million people watching us. Do you know why? Because we are not a silent majority anymore. We are not silent. Let me hear you, lions. Show them. I want to ask camera guys, can we show the crowd? They're going to say it was about 100 or 200,000. They will say 300,000. It's over 3 million. And we are taking our Christian Europe back. We are taking this continent because this is our home. I love Poland. I was born Polish and I'm so proud to be Polish. But I'm also a Christian European and I want to live in Europe. If I would love to live in Africa, Asia or any other continent, I would move. But I love you. I love Europe. I love my culture. I love my identity. I love this crowd. I love being European. So what we have to do, we have to send them back. Zero. What is it? Why? Because we have to be very radical. Zero means zero. Enough is enough. We had enough. So now, I want you to know you are not alone.
Now, the thing is that is the the rhetoric is send them back. Send whom back? And what? Just carte blanche send any immigrant back? Send them back? Send the boats back? I believe the government want the boats to come anyway, but that's irrelevant. But just carte blanche say send them back. What sort of narrative does that send to such a big audience, where basically they may be inclined to basically engage in society and say to people, "Oh, you should go back to your own country again." You know, when they may have been born and bred in Britain anyway, or they may be a legal migrant here doing positive things in society. I mean, we got bad people too, you know, and I just, send them back. Jeez.
Hello, it's Steve Little here, station manager, Dreamcatcher Radio. Boy, oh boy, what can I say? Just over 12 weeks we've been running. We now accumulated 7,000 plus listeners every week. And every week we're accumulating 500 unique listeners to the station. We've now got 3 brand new presenters, which totals 28 amazing and dedicated presenters making up our amazing team. That means we've got 28 genres of shows. We've had countless hard-hitting and explosive interviews. We've had over 250,000 hits on our website. We do regular events and outside broadcasts. We support charities. And we are living by the mission statement of the station, empowering expression and enhancing society. And all this is because of you and for you, our listeners. Keep it locked in to Dreamcatcher Radio, and thank you.
Dreamcatcher Radio.
I'll rise up, I'll soldier and storm these gates and break through. It's time to take it all, and I'll fight on until the end. Until the end. I'm gonna fight till the end. I'm gonna fight till the end. I'm gonna fight till the battle's done, till the setting sun, till the war is won. I'm gonna fight till the end. Till the end. I'm gonna fight till the end. No white flag, no surrender. I'm leaving no survivors. I'll stand up and stay strong, and I'll fight on until the end. Until the end. I'm gonna fight till the end. I'm gonna fight till the end. Till the battle's done, till the setting sun, till the war is won. I'm gonna fight till the end. I'm gonna fight till the end. gonna fight till the end. I'm gonna fight till the end. I'm gonna fight till the battle's done, till the setting sun, till the war is won. I'm gonna fight till the end. I'm gonna fight till the end. Till the end. I'm gonna fight till the end.
Now, I'm going to end on this speech from Elon Musk, who's a very, very powerful, influential man. And I do not like his speech where he said, you have to fight or you die. My question is this: who do you fight and why do you need to die? And it's very, very misleading. And unfortunately, you're going to have lots of people in the audience that like this sort of narrative and will go and do things that could end up getting them in prison, could end up in violence. And for me, it's so wrong. It's so, so wrong. And like I say, it's coming from an influential and powerful man. And when you think of the whole narrative of the event was not about freedom of speech, Elon even talks about change of power, which I actually, funny enough, I do agree with. However, I do not know who should replace the Labour government. And also, I do believe one narrative that was in this event was that people don't go out and vote. But the problem is, who do you actually vote for? Anyway, I'm going to play this, and I think we're going to be at the end of today's show. Listen, keep safe. Please, please, please remember to respect fellow human beings. We're all the same. And do not believe in all the narrative that you hear. Unfortunately, we live in a very, very, very distressed society, and it's nothing like a society that I grew up in, not in any way, shape or form, for many, many different reasons. And it makes me really, really sad. But don't get angry. Do your best to keep calm and work within your communities. There's so many things you can do within your communities, engaging with your communities, and to not listen to this about you need to fight. And you know, it just, for me, it doesn't sit well. It doesn't sit well. I don't understand the agenda. I get it. We got illegal migrants and that sort of stuff coming into the UK, which I do not understand. I don't like it myself. And I do actually believe it's by design, but who's designing it, I don't know. But and I strongly believe our streets are not safe. I really do believe that. No more. And what we do about it, who knows? But that could be what they're on about, is fight back. I don't know. But yeah, I would never let, my partner go out by herself at night whatsoever. Even in fact, I would not go out by myself at night whatsoever if I can avoid it. It really is. We are in scary times. We are. But this is not about freedom of speech. The event on the 13th, it wasn't. It's about enraging the society, in my belief. But let me play Elon's speech. There's a full speech as well.
Put people in prison just for talking, as you were, just for speaking their mind. The essence of democracy is it should be a government for the people, by the people. And in fact, this is a government against the people and not for the people. This is why everyone is gathered here today, is something's got to be done. This is unacceptable. The government needs to be responsible to the people of Britain. It needs to protect Britain. It needs to protect the weak, those who cannot protect themselves, especially the children. And when I read about some of the horrific stories and how the government did nothing and tried to hide it, they try to hide these horrific crimes. And then you see how much violence there's on the left, with our friend Charlie Cook getting murdered in cold blood this week, and people on the left celebrating it openly. The left is the party of murder and celebrating murder. I mean, let that sink in for a minute. That's who we're dealing with here. That is who we're dealing with.
Elon, to so many of the British public who are scared to exercise their free speech, they're worried about being imprisoned, they're worried about being attacked, even to share their speech on your platform of X. What message would you give to them?
The message is really, my message is to the reasonable centre. The common sense. So my appeal is to British common sense, which is to look carefully around you and say, if this continues, what world will you be living in? This is a message to the reasonable centre, the people who ordinarily wouldn't get involved in politics, who just want to live their lives. They don't want they're quiet. They just go about their business. My message is to them: if this continues, that violence is going to come to you. You will have no choice. You're in a fundamental situation here where whether you choose violence or not, violence is coming to you. You either fight back or you die. You either fight back or you die. And that's the truth.
Today, Elon, I think the British public are telling the world that they're ready to fight back.
Good. Yes.
Come on, Great Britain.
Oh!
Come on. We've inspired the nation. Elon, you've spoken a lot about woke culture, the woke mind virus, and how it damages innovation and freedom of thought. We know that DEI often sees people getting jobs when they definitely don't deserve them. Do you think this culture is holding back progress in the West? And what do you think needs to happen to reverse it?
Yeah, I'm appealing to sort of common sense and fairness. I want to emphasize just common sense and fairness, which is that we should make our decisions based on merit, on how, if somebody is talented and hardworking, then that should be the only means of advancement. There should not be discrimination on the basis of sex or religion or any race or anything else. And what a lot of the woke stuff is, it's actually super racist, it's super sexist, and it's often it's anti-religion, but only anti-Christian. Like, why only anti-Christian? That's unfair. So this is why, again, my message is to the reasonable middle. Do you not want a world where there is fairness and common sense, and you advance as a function of how hard you work, and your talent, and your integrity? That should be all that matters. And the woke mind virus, that I call it, is against all of that. It's wrong.
Thank you. Elon, we hear so much about censorship being pushed by governments and global corporations and organisations. A lot of people don't understand why we're allowing mass, uncontrolled immigration into all Western nations. Do you believe that there are powerful forces outside of elected officials, someone controlling governments, that are trying to control the flow of information, and how do we resist that pressure?
I think when you look at the behavior of organizations or people, you have to say, what is the incentive for these organizations? And frankly, there's a massive incentive on the left to import voters. So if they can't if they can't convince their nation to vote for them, they're going to import people from other nations to vote for them. This is a massive factor. And frankly, it's a strategy that will succeed if it is not stopped. Thus far, it is succeeding. And you see strong movements to allow people who are not from Britain to vote in Britain, to allow people who are not from France or elsewhere to vote in those countries, and thus depriving the citizens of their democratic power. It's really a voter importation thing, and if they're allowed to succeed, if this is allowed to continue, they will succeed in importing voters, swaying the elections, and taking your vote away from you. That is 100% what is happening.
Do you know what's great? The BBC and the mass media cannot control this, can they? I love it.
I mean, the BBC is complicit in the destruction of Britain.
And we pay for it, Elon. We pay for it.
Yes.
We're forced to pay for it. Do you know they send them to jail if we don't pay for it?
You're forced to pay for your own destruction. It's insane. It's unfair. It is wrong.
Elon, a lot of ordinary people that are here today, they feel ignored, they feel censored, or they're labelled just for speaking up about their legitimate fears and concerns in their communities. Do you believe technology, like X or even AI, can finally give power back to those people? Or do you think it will make censorship worse or even automate it?
I mean, that's a complicated question. It really depends on what government is in charge. The government can obviously use whatever powers are available to suppress the people. And so I really think there's got to be a change of government in Britain. And you can't, we don't have another 4 years or whatever the next election is. It's too long. Something's got to be done. There's got to be a dissolution of Parliament and a new vote held. And really what matters is rallying the people of Britain, really getting the people of Britain to get the message out there, talk to your friends and family, and build a massive power base among the people. And like I said, you really got to appeal to the sort of average, the normal people that just want to go about their business, that they're sort of in a village somewhere, they're working, they just want to mind their own business. But you've got to point out to them that if we don't take action, they won't be able to mind their own business because other people are going to come and maraud them. There's genuine risk of rape and murder, and the destruction of the country, and dissolution of the entire way of life. And so, yes, in the normal course of business, if you weren't under a massive attack, then people should go about their business and just live their lives. But unfortunately, if the fight comes to you, you don't have a choice. You have to fight. So you have to rally all of the people of Britain to fight for the future.
Let me ask
and
the
if
people
this
of Britain,
doesn't happen, there won't be a future.
are you ready to fight for your future, Britain?
Fight for your future. Do it. Go.
Will we be gagged any longer, Britain?
Go. But you know what I mean, Tommy. You know what I mean. I mean, I talk to my friends in Britain, and they're like, yes, they live in a village here or there, or a town or city here or there, and they're like, well, it doesn't seem like it's really that much of a problem. I'm like, well, if you want to know what's going to happen to your town and village, just visit London, and you'll see that it's filled with crime. It often doesn't feel like Britain at all, and it's only a matter of time before that is what happens to your town or village. It starts in London, but it will spread to every town and village in the country, and no one will have any peace.
We're running out of time, people. We're running out of time. Elon, you've
Yes.
built rockets, you've built cars, you've built satellites, you've built AI. Things most of us couldn't dream of. It's fair to say you're a visionary. When you look at leaders in Europe and the UK today, do you think they share the same talent for future vision, or do you feel like they'll be left behind and out of touch?
Well, I think we've got to have a freer country, a freer, Europe in general has to be freer. It's stifled by bureaucracy. I think it's good that Britain left the EU because there's just too much bureaucracy in the EU. But frankly, instead of really going down a path of personal freedom and deregulation and getting rid of these stifling regulations, unfortunately, the British government has pretty much stayed on par with the EU, if not in some ways made the stifling regulation worse. If you have excess government regulation and oppression, you stifle the freedom of people to try new and great ideas. And Britain used to be a country that did amazing things, some of the boldest things on the entire planet. And that is possible in the future. But it can't be done if you've got this massive oppressive bureaucracy and a government that doesn't care about its people. And that has to change. There has to be profound change. And there's not much time left.
Elon, you've said before that civilization is fragile. We agree.
Yes.
It's precious. When you look at the West right now, every country in the West, with its wars, its divisions, its censorship, and its declining trust in institutions, none of us trust them at all. None of the public trust them.
For good reason.
Are you optimistic or pessimistic about where we are heading?
I think if the people of Britain take charge and actually ensure that there's a government that represents their interests and not a government that represents foreign interests, then I think Britain has a great future. And I think we can be optimistic. I think there's amazing things that are possible. If the technology that's coming is used in the right way, we can have an incredibly exciting future, one which is, sort of Star Trek made real. It's sort of like the exciting utopian sci-fi where we have spaceships and we've got robots and we've got incredible technologies that are really exciting. But we need to preserve civilization long enough for that to happen, and we need to go onward and upward, and we need to fight for such a future. Such a future is not inevitable. We have to fight for such a future.
I think that many British people had lost hope, but after today's scene, have you got hope again, Britain? Britain is awake. Thanks to you, Elon. Thanks to your input. Can we just ask...
Well, thanks to you, Tommy.
Thank you, brother. Can we ask, what do you see as the future of the UK and Europe in your vision? Where are we heading? What's the future like for us?
Well, I think there needs to be a future where people take charge, where there's deregulation, a massive reduction in bureaucracy, and generally a new hope, where people look forward, wake up in the morning, look forward to the future. They're excited about what's going to happen next. But we must have revolutionary government change for that to occur. And this is not ordinary course of business sort of stuff. This really requires everyone to sort of marshal the people, to take charge, reform the government, and make sure that you actually have a government that is for the people, by the people. And that's essential. And that's not... So we're really at a fork in the road here. We're at a fork in the road to darkness or greatness. And that will be decided only in a matter of years. And we must take the path to greatness. And that's the path that's exciting and inspiring and will make life worth living.
Elon, you've done more than anyone to shine a torch on the crimes committed against a generation of our daughters. On behalf of everyone and on behalf of all of us in Great Britain, you know what, we wouldn't even be in the fight. Not only are we in the fight right now, but we're on the advance. Thanks to free speech being fought for us by Elon Musk. We're very grateful, sir.
You're most welcome. Thank you. All right.
House, no ties. A little bit older, but not so worldly wise. But I can't see your lights on me, making me regretfully say the wonder of it all was you. And underneath it all, walking so long, don't you rest from this harmony, from this unity, from anything that isn't you and me. The wonder of it all was you. And underneath it all, it wasn't true. Chasing old dreams, tired of wasting days, tired of waking mornings, just to wait for you to leave. Tired of searching high, tired of getting low, tired of listening hard,